Hey guys, it's August, and welcome to StarCraft Remastered. So, StarCraft Remastered is of course the remaster of StarCraft and StarCraft Brood War, two really old games that I absolutely played to death. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the old StarCraft games, so I was pretty happy when Blizzard kind of surprised announced this game. It came out a bit earlier this year and they said, yeah, we'll be releasing a new version of StarCraft that has improved graphics, as you can see. Although there's still the option to play the old style, which I like. It also features online capabilities and it runs on modern systems. Mind blown. For those of you who don't really know StarCraft, the old games don't really run on modern systems at all, so this is kind of a godsend. They also announced that there would be some other minor improvements, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity for them to fix up some of the old gameplay stuff that is kind of archaic at this point. But of course they didn't. Their minor improvements were stuff like slightly making the sound higher quality and things like that. So yes, SCVs still will not gather resources that you rally them to. Why, Blizzard? Why not? Like, I suppose it's good they're not messing with the game too much, but still, come on. That's something that we could have had. Anyway, basically, since this game came out, I wanted to do a video on it, and I'm finally getting around to it. So today, I'll be doing a couple of the basic story missions, and then going into a versus match against the AI, and we'll see how I do. I have beaten this game, although I've never really been that good against the AI. Also, I've got to say, these old menus, this music is so friggin' nostalgic, I love it. Alright, let's jump into the first mission of the game, Wasteland. And we have our lovely adjutant here, who looks really scary. In StarCraft 2, they made her look a lot more robotic, but this one is like a friggin' lady with pipes in her head, it's weird. Although I suppose, yeah, even the updated version isn't that much better. StarCraft has always had a really cool aesthetic to it though. Like, the Terrans are all like kind of western and very rough and messy sort of things, you know, and this adjutant I think is a perfect example of that. And here we have Edmund Duke. This dude who has his weird, like, light purple hair. I don't know why, but back in the day I always thought it was light purple. In this updated one, he actually has white hair. You can actually see his uniform now. It's not even a uniform actually, it's just his suit. In the updated one, it looks like he has a fancy scarf on or something. Anyway, I probably shouldn't be talking over these because the voice acting in this game is like fantastic.
Raynor has agreed to meet your personnel en route and escort them to the new Wasteland site.
And speaking of voice acting, we're about to meet our good pal James Raynor. Oh my god, that music. Let's move! Go, go, go. Can't believe we're being sent to the Wasteland. These Confederates think they can push anybody around. They sure do. Sorry the recording's a little bit weird. I'm recording this with a Camtasia instead of my usual setup, which is DX Story. Because for some reason, DX Story just crashes as soon as I jump into the mission. No idea why. Anyway, here we have our good pal James Raynor. So Raynor is of course one of the three kind of primary protagonists of StarCraft. He's a pretty cool guy. He's a huge character in StarCraft 2 as well, as you'll know if you've played it or seen my LP. And he's pretty awesome. Something kind of interesting about James Raynor actually is that his voice actor in this game, which I forget his name, he actually has the same voice actor in StarCraft 2, which I think is great because his voice acting is just fantastic. The reason that's interesting is that a lot of the voice actors in StarCraft 2 actually have different people. For example, Kerrigan's different, Zeratul different as well, although I believe Zeratul's voice actor actually died, which is, you know, understandable there, of course. Also, I gotta say, the old AI in these games is really dumb. If you know StarCraft, then I'm sure you know about the Dragoons, who I'll show off later for sure, because those guys are hilarious. But yeah, Jim is on his vulture bike, and you can easily outrun these Zerglings and mow them down. And of course, because we are, you know, Jim Raynor is a hero character, he's also way more powerful than the rest of the team. So while he goes around murdering things, we can build up what we need to build up, which is a barracks and 10 Marines. This music is so fantastic. Like, it's amazing.
Anytime you're ready.
Well, I'm ready now. Let's go, Jim. Oh, yeah.
Right on. This should be good.
I'm just listening to the music. It's so good. Like, yeah, as I was saying, I love the sort of aesthetic that they have going on in StarCraft. Like, yeah, the Terrans are all Western, and they're very rough, and like, you know, going into the galaxy to see what they can find and stuff like that, and it's really, really good. It's not clean at all, which I guess is a good way to put it. Especially compared to some of the other races like the Protoss. Like, the Protoss are very, very clean. And yeah, I'll definitely show off some of those guys later too. Also, while I'm doing this, I'm definitely going to show off some of the old cutscenes because they are just like, they're beautiful. There's no other way to put them. Alright, so our barracks is made. Thank you, advisor. Marine counter activated. Because this is the first mission, the goal here is really simple. Just build 10 Marines and then we are done. And we just need 50 more minerals. There we go. And so while those guys build, let's run around with this Rainer here and see what we can do. Maybe throw down a spider mine or two to blow up these dudes who are getting stuck on the train. Once again, that is kind of the definition of StarCraft AI for you. It's not very smart. Once again, I suppose it's good they didn't mess with the game too much, but couldn't they have done something about this? I don't know though, I suppose it has a bit of charm to it, but yeah. Oh well, 2 more Marines and then we will be done here. I guess we will do our usual click on a unit a lot to buy time.
Anytime you're ready. Rainer here. You want a piece of me, boy? This is Jimmy.
Hi, Jimmy.
Anytime you're ready. Hey, quit it. What's your problem, man? Look, Commander, do you mind? I knew I should have piece of me, boy.
And we're done! Hooray, we are victorious! Yeah, I'll show you guys the screen on both of them. They did a pretty good job replicating it. Just has this like gun up, down, up, down. Actually, everyone's switching their positions. I just noticed this. I guess they're exercising. Well, for this next mission, let's use the new graphics.
Receiving incoming transmission. Comlink established.
What's up?
See, Rainy looks pretty good in the new graphics. He looks
Your refugees tucked in nice and tight.
pretty the same, actually. Maybe not as, like, comical, because he does have a pretty comical face in the old one. But yeah, I like him. This is before he grew his, like, long beard that he has in StarCraft 2.
Backwater station under attack.
Well, I guess it isn't too long, actually, but yeah. He's very scruffy in that game compared to his relatively clean look in this one.
Alerting Confederate headquarters on Darsonis. Stand by for incoming transmission.
We've already received the distress beacon from Backwater, and we'll take care of it. You just sit tight. You'll be notified if there's anything we think you need to know.
Damn. Listen, if we wait for Confederate reinforcements, that station's dust. I'll head out there now and do what I can. You send in some militia, and we'll save those folks. Trust me.
I trust you, Jimmy.
Glad to see you, boys. Time to kick some serious butt.
And here we are on a brand new mission with our awesome looking command center here because I pre-ordered the game. Because of course I would.
Minerals.
Kinda sad I didn't get in the old one, but that's fine. Now I will say, if you're playing this game for yourself, I would highly recommend playing on the new graphical setting because, as you can see, you can just see more of the screen. Like, that helps out so much in some missions because, like, this is a relatively cramped look because it's 4x3, so having the 60x9 is really, really good. And I gotta say, oh yeah, you can also zoom in, by the way, I didn't mention this before. But yeah, these new buildings look really, really cool. Like, it isn't the most graphically impressive game in the world, but I think they did a really, really good job of improving it. Now, one thing about this mission is that I'm pretty sure you can beat it just with your starting units. Because I've done it before, because like I said, I've played these games to death and back.
Ground there is alive.
Here we have our Zug, and we have our creep colony over here. Creep colony, spread creep. Creep works pretty much the same as StarCraft 2, Zug units build on it. Although they do not have the speed boost in this game that they have in StarCraft 2. That's one of the things they changed around. And with that taken care of, let's walk up to this bunker and... No worries. I always found it weird when I was a kid how these SCVs knew that they're called Zergs. Like, nobody knows who they are, and yet we know it somehow. Two barracks, 4 fire bats, another command center. And this is a perfect chance to show off our fire bats. Burn those critters alive, boys. Let's just start throwing out some more marines. And yeah, this one is pretty much just like a slow war of attrition really, because the enemy cannot reinforce, but you can, so no matter what, you will win eventually. And the end of the mission is just up here. We have some more units to work through. We might be good. It's going to be cutting it close, although we do have Jim. If we throw down some spider mines here, then that should be enough to deal with those guys. That's one. Fortunately, they killed the other one. Let's take out this Hydralisk here. Bring these dudes over. And if we walk up here...
What the hell did they do to that command center? Whatever it is, it ain't natural. Burn it, boys.
Yep, here we have an infested command center, which looks just as gross in both versions. Like really, it has a huge like heart on it or something. It's really weird. And yeah, that marine in the picture is definitely not having a good time down here either. Although like that version's even worse, I'd say. So yeah, now it's just a slow burn until we will eventually finish this mission.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Marshal Reed, by destroying a vital Confederate installation, you and your men have violated standard colonial law. As of right now, you're all under arrest. I suggest you throw down your weapons and come to pieces with us.
You're out of your mind. If we hadn't burned that damn factory, this entire colony could have been burned. Maybe if you hadn't taken your sweet time to get here.
I'll ask you guys the first time, boy. You didn't come here to talk to me. Now throw down them weapons.
Guess you wouldn't be a Confederate if you weren't a complete pain in the ass.
Well, at least the music died down for Jimmy's stinger at the end there. Anyway, if I remember right... Oh my god. I hope you guys are ready for some old-timey cutscenes.
Hey, Sarge, why we always gotta listen to this shit for anyway? 'Cause I'm in charge, that's why. Oh, it don't seem like no good kind of reason to me. Also, hey, what's that? Hold on a minute, a second. Steamroller! Looks like you mashed some poor feather's dog, Sarge. It's a Zerglin, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. They can be out this far unless... Oh, shit. I love you, Sarge.
Yeah, they're pretty great. Let's jump into a custom match. I'll show you guys the Zerg and the Protoss. I won't be doing this for too long just because, like I said, I'm probably going to die very soon. And wow. I mean, that's definitely space madness for you. I guess let's do this one. Free-for-all. I talked about this a bit during my StarCraft 2 LP, but back in the day, I used to make so many maps for this game. Mostly campaign ones, but it was so much fun. If you make your own maps and want to do like campaign maps, you have to click use map settings because that like will load all the triggers in a map. And so if you don't do that one, it will start a normal match like this. And here we have our Zerg. The Zerg are just as gross as ever. Like, yeah, the updates really did do these guys any favors. And of course, we require more minerals. You were going to hear that a lot. Just because whenever you select lava, it will select all the lava, so even if you only build one thing, it will just keep saying that over and over because it's trying to turn them all into things. So, the Zerg. These guys are the race that I prefer to play in StarCraft 1 just because your control groups only have a max of 12 units. So my strategy was basically just build about 5 hatcheries and then just keep spamming units, putting them all into control groups, sending them over to the enemy and just like hoping for the best. And it works pretty effectively because not much enemies can do against waves and waves and waves of units. But still, probably not how you should be playing the game. Ooh, we're up against the Zug too. And yeah, I guess I'll just play this for a little bit, and then we'll switch over to the Protoss and give them a shot too. And yeah, I talked about this as well in my StarCraft 2 LP, but the Protoss are my favorite race in that game, just because I kind of like their, you know, few units that are individually powerful sort of mentality. So yeah, if this game handled a little bit better and like you could have huge control groups, I'd probably actually use the Protoss in this, honestly. Although I guess all 3 races are balanced pretty well, so who knows. What else can I talk about while I'm doing this? I suppose, yeah, like, when I was young, like I said, I played this game to death and back, and one of the things I loved doing as well was playing custom games online, because there were some really, really fun custom games for this one. Like, I remember playing this Monopoly game, which is really cool. I do have a fun little story about that. There was one time when I was playing with about 5 other people, and there was one guy who wasn't really that smart, like he might have been a small kid, and so I ended up just talking to him and getting like all his properties for nothing. Like, the worst thing is that the other people playing the game even was saying this to him and he was still giving them to me. So yeah, thinking about it, I was kind of an asshole in that one. Another custom map which I loved was this one which I forget the name of, but it's like there's a bunch of players and one of them is an alien and they can turn into a Zergling, and so you have to try and like isolate people and take them out without anyone knowing who the actual alien is. So I guess it's just a bit like Alien in the movie in that way, but yeah. That's a pretty fun game too. I can't think of what it's called though. It probably is just called like Alien, honestly, but yeah. That one's pretty good too. And of course there's all the tower defense stuff, and I'm pretty sure the original, what was it called? Not Defense of the Agents, the one before that. It was on this game as well, but I forget what it was called. I never played too much of that, but I know that's a pretty big and popular thing too. And yeah, I gotta say the Zerg music is definitely pretty creepy. It's a lot more atmospheric than the Terran one is. So the Terran music's gonna pump in and very loud and stuff, but this one is just quite quiet and creepy. Anyway, let's see what my little army of Zerglings can do. And a Hydralis too. I'm expecting, wait a second. Oh! Oh, do you have to get, ooh, okay. It looks like to get to the enemy, I'll actually have to, build the transport unit. Which means I'll have to get, a lair and then get my, ventral sacks, I think it is, for the overlords. Overlord, why are you so slow? Okay, they're getting the Hydralis in too. Hello? I am your friendly neighborhood overlord. Let's go back to the past for a bit. Man, it's hard to believe how this used to look like. Like they did, I suppose I am zoomed in, but yeah, even like this, they look very, rough, that's for sure. Yeah. This look really gross, I gotta say. Anyway. Let's leave. And I'll do a small mission as the Protoss to show you guys them too. Okay, I'm back. It's actually my dad's birthday today and he was returning my call, so I had to like take that. But anyway, yeah, here we have the Protoss, the very elder and mystical race in StarCraft. And these guys, they look really, really nice. Like, I absolutely love the special Protoss Nexus you get for pre-ordering here. Very cool. And yeah, the Protoss are very, very slow burners, building up a very powerful army. Aldaris looks very different in this one though, like he kind of looks like he has a mouth there. But in this one he's nothing like that. Which makes me wonder if he was actually like meant to have a mouth in the original and they changed their mind about it, or like, I don't know. Because it looks very, very weird to me. Yeah, I can't unsee that. Anyway, I won't do this one for too long and then I'll kind of call it quits here. But yeah, I gotta say I'm pretty happy that they actually released this StarCraft Remastered because it's been really fun to play through. Back in the day, I never actually finished Brood War because the final mission, which is called Omega, was just way too hard for me, and I beat it this time. I mean, I used a lot of saving, like, kind of that, but yeah, it was really, really fun to play through again. And it's really cool just to see how old missions which caused me so much trouble, like how easy it could be because I have a lot more experience in the genre, and also how missions that I expected to be easy could be really, really difficult. There are some late game missions that you can kind of easily abuse, I'll say, thanks to a couple of really overpowered units. For example, the carrier that the Protoss have. If you build carriers towards the end of the StarCraft 1 campaign and just spam them, there's not much the enemy can do about them at all. In Brood War, they're a bit smarter than that, and they'll actually try and target your carriers with Scourges, which will blow them up, and other units like that. But there are still ways you can get around that, just like have adequate defenses and you'll be fine. But I will say there are other missions too, which like I expected to be really easy, and the game just kicked my ass on. So because I talked about them, I have to get Dragoons. Dragoons are hilarious in this game, and they're one of the really iconic StarCraft 1 units just because they are so dumb. Like, these are the dudes who constantly get stuck on ramps and shit. We have our Zealots here. I will say, the StarCraft 1 Zealot looks like he has like... It looks like he has a hole in his throat there where he talks through, you know? Like this one, they don't have that there, so it looks a lot better. But it reminds me of those holes that some smokers have in their throats. Like, yeah, that's how I always saw that. It's not really the prettiest image for your Protoss civilization, but I guess everyone has their habits like that, you know. Alright, no! Oh no, damn it. Well, I suppose we must construct additional pylons. And you know what? Because I have to do this, let's also build ourselves a Reaver. Because Reavers are another really iconic StarCraft 1 unit. God, there are so many of them. Even like High Templars, I would say, are there. Okay. Give me my Dragoon. And then we will run around with this dude and see what we can get stuck on. Which is the StarCraft 1 tradition. Hey, here he is. So Dragoons are pretty great. They do a lot of damage, and they are also really, really fast and mobile. The big disadvantage, as I mentioned multiple times, is that they get stuck on everything. It's also interesting because in their StarCraft 1 icon, it kind of looks like a heart to me. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm talking about things here. You cannot attack me. Unfortunately, I don't think they're gonna listen. But luckily for me, I have a ranged unit, so I can kind of just kite them. But yeah, his icon almost looks like a heart to me. You can tell in the newer version that's meant to be his face, and then once you kind of see that, you don't really unsee that, but yeah. I always thought that was rather strange when I was young. Like a heart with like a little light bulb on it or something. Alright, let me build a Reaver while I'm doing this. Luckily that dude's just kind of sitting there because he's an idiot. Like, what is he doing? And luckily my Dragoon is not getting stuck. Okay, I will eventually kill these guys. Very, very slowly. And now that dude's not going anywhere. Maybe there's some way to get them all stuck. Oh. Oh. Well, that's StarCraft waaaay for you. You know, let's actually sit over here. You can just like chill there. Oh, we have our Reaver! These little adorable scarab monsters. They are pretty cute with their little claw mouth thingy. Anyway, these dudes do that. They are incredibly high damaging things that just send out these mines that explode and do so much damage in a huge AoE. Like, they are great. In the campaign, they are like the #1 thing to watch out for when you're playing the Zerg, because if you do my strategy of just spamming units and sending them at the enemy, if you're against the Protoss and they have these dudes, they will just send the mines out and take out like 5 Zerglings at a time. Like, it is so much. Anyway, with this little dude here, I think it's time to call quits for this episode. So, thank you guys for watching today, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one.